So I'm Jake Valancourt. I'm a co-founder of 10X Engineered Materials, and I'm sitting here with Dr. Stephen Ritchie, who's actually our inventor, and he's now our CEO. Steve?
So this all started with you.
Yes, it's my fault.
We were working towards a solution for mineral wool. The solution could have been anything. This was way back in the beginning in 2015 and 2016. And Jake got an opportunity with Owens Corning for us to help them find a way to repurpose the byproducts that were being produced in their mineral wool division. And we had lots of ideas.
Oh yeah, we did.
We had a whole long list of ideas. One of them was that it might be a blasting abrasive because it was largely a granular material.
Right.
And so we tested it.
Yep.
In a bunch of different ways. We tested it chemically. We tested it in blasting. We
Sandpaper.
sandpaper.
We looked at
yes, we looked at
so many
all
things.
kinds of things and just refused to fail.
Yeah.
Now, this conversation is about sustainability. And I've done a lot of work in sustainability in my former career, and it is a multidimensional topic. You're looking at environmental and human impacts from emissions, from using resources from the earth, from toxicity.
Yeah.
Anything sustainable has to be healthy.
Right, absolutely.
And it's best assessed holistically, looking at the impacts of a material or a process from the time the resources are pulled from the earth to the time that they're returned to the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, it's very interesting because mineral wool itself is recycling mineral materials from the steel industry.
Yep.
So they've been for over 100 years been using this byproduct from steel making, among other things, to make a high quality, durable wool that can be used in high temperature. It can be used as fireproofing material, as soundproofing material. It's a versatile material. But they were discarding a significant portion of of the material they were getting.
Yep.
So we come in and we realized that it has special properties as a blasting abrasive. And we wanted to form a company around this new material. And this story, this sustainability story of potentially impacting two industries. We're providing a solution for the mineral wool industry and bringing a brand new high quality product into the abrasives industry.
Yeah.
That has this sustainability story tied to it.
Right.
And that excited our investors, that excited our entire team.
Yeah.
And
All of our stakeholders.
it was on that,
Mm-hmm.
in a big way, was on that sustainability story that 10X was found.
Yep, absolutely. So born from a need for improving the sustainable performance of the mineral wool industry, and it just happened to fit into the way this whole industry is going, is to be safer, more efficient, faster, more profitable, but also more sustainable. And we knocked it out of the park. We're not necessarily brilliant, but we're really lucky in that the product fit was there, and we've entered into a very mature market that has had a certain way of doing things for a very long time, and essentially brought new thinking and challenged the status quo, and we knocked it out of the park. We've been able to absolutely deliver value in every way to the blasting organizations that decide to do work with us, and also make a very mature old insulation manufacturing industry completely sustainable. And it closed the loop. It's more of a supply loop than a supply chain, and that's the future, right? The companies like us need to be created, and they need to succeed when we're competing largely with mined materials that just they don't have that future like we do, and it just makes sense. So
And there's two other things I'd like to point out.
Sure.
When we designed the process, sustainability was uppermost in mind.
Mm-hmm.
So we designed it in a way that absolutely minimizes the energy consumption purposely. So the process itself is as sustainable as we could make it. And then the other part, and this is the lucky part, is just the properties of the material. So here we have the mineral wool industry making and throwing away these particles for 100 years.
Yep.
And these particles are the exact same material as the mineral wool.
Yeah.
They're durable, they're elastic. So as a blasting abrasive, they're quite unique. Their shapes are unique.
Yep.
But what that brings even more sustainability benefits to the industry because you need so much less to complete a job.
Right.
You don't use as much material. If you don't use as much material, you don't discard as much material. It blasts faster. So there, for per unit of productive output, whatever that is, it might be a ship, it might be a rail car, it could be square foot of tank wall, whatever that unit of productivity is, you're going to be using less fuel. You're going to be, for your compressors, or less electricity, discarding less, using less material. The sustainability story starts way back at the beginning,
mm-hmm.
and now it happens every day as people use our products.
And going a step further to the asset owner, we've seen, now we've been doing this for a number of years, we've seen that, especially in the marine industry, we have some customers in Canada and the Pacific Northwest who have shared with us that boats that used to be needing to be reworked every 2 or 3 years, they haven't been touched now, and we're approaching 5 or 6 years now, and they're passing their inspections with minimal rework, whereas they used to be, fully blasted and redone in that time span because they're in harsh environments, and those boats take a lot, ferries, things like this, they're taking a lot of abuse in a saltwater environment, and we don't know what the limits are. We don't know how much more life we're getting out of those coating systems, but we know it's substantially more. And if you don't have to paint it as often, you don't have to do your maintenance overhauls as often, you're just compounding this sustainable benefit, as well as the total cost of existing. Essentially, this business is able to impact so much infrastructure. Imagine bridges lasting longer, and your maintenance cycles of all these assets that we touch. It's a pretty wild result when you think about it, and we're not coming from a mined or energy intensive process like some of our other competitors out there are. We're coming from a completely renewable and recycled set of processes, and adding value along the way, but essentially delivering on the, hey, we can make this more sustainable, more profitable, but also safer. It's a really cool story. And what's actually behind us, why we're standing out here, we're in our bunker building in the factory right now together, after hours, so no PPE, it's okay. But what's behind us is our raw material. And this is coming from mineral wool facilities now in multiple states. We started with Owens Corning, and we've grown, and we're continuing to grow. And our, the ceiling is the limit, essentially, or actually the sky's the limit. There's so much of this material in the world, and we're able to bring it here, add value, and bring it back out into the marketplace and avoid that landfill. So it's fantastic. Anything else, Steve?
Yeah, there's one other very important thing that I discussed at the beginning, that the impact on human beings is every bit as important as the impact on the earth.
Absolutely.
And ecosystems, and this material is the only material in the abrasives industry that actually has a monograph from the International Agency for Research on Cancer classifying it in group 3, which means that it's not classifiable as a carcinogen in humans. We've been talking a lot about this subject. We're going to continue to talk about this subject, but it's vitally important because in order to get that, it had to be tested in accordance with the gold standard testing that is used for toxicology. And it had to pass those tests. And there had to be enough of those tests. And there's just no other abrasive material that has that. We'd like to see more of this in our industry, but we don't have it yet.
Yep.
But our material does have it. And that's why we are confident in saying that it is the world's safest high performance abrasive. It's the only abrasive with this kind of proof.
Yep. That's there's nothing more important than, you know, a blaster's ability to go home to their family and friends and be there for them. And we're taking away a hazard that, you know, during blasting you have your hood on, but when you're getting it out of a tank or you're cleaning up, there's dust that you may not even be able to see that's doing real harm. And if that dust is 10x, it's not going to hurt you. And that alone is why we're here. There's lots of other reasons, but been saying blasters deserve better. We mean it. We have a better product, better process, and we deliver on that. Blasters deserve better. Make an engineered decision. It's not just a marketing gimmick. It's really what we're doing, and we're going to keep doing that. We're here for you. If you got any questions, please reach out. Steve, it was awesome. Thanks for doing this, and hopefully we'll be doing more of this soon.